Okay. This is to help you study the codes and rules, the Oklahoma Brokerage Relationship Act. This is going to be long, and we're just going to try to get in all the information that we need to learn so we can pass the test later, okay? So we have the definitions writing down, the renewable license, what a successful completion is, you know what a provisional sales assistant is. You know what a licensee is. The commission, it does not mean a sales commission, it means the real estate commission, OREC, Oklahoma Real Estate Commission. Okay? So let's just try to get started. Okay, the members of the Oklahoma Real Estate Commission shall be appointed by the governor with the advice and consent of the Senate. You know that. The revolving fund, Oklahoma Real Estate Commission revolving fund. The fund shall consist of all monies received by the Oklahoma Real Estate Commission other than the Oklahoma Real Estate Education and Recovery Fund fees are appropriated funds. That's too high, I think. How's that? Is that better? Okay. Okay, so this is 858-206. So this is out of the Oklahoma Real Estate Codes and Rules. 858-206, suit service seals, certified copies, location of office. The commission may sue and be sued in its original name and service of summons upon the secretary treasurer of the commission shall constitute lawful service upon the commission. The commission shall have a seal which shall be affixed to all licensees, certified copies of records and papers on file, and to such other instruments as the commission may direct, and all courts shall take judicial notice of such seal. I know, it's taking me a second to get started here, just hold on, okay? Copies of records and proceedings of the commission copies of records and proceedings of the commission and all papers on file in the office certified under the seal shall be received as evidence in all courts of record. The office of the commission shall be at Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Okay, I'm trying just to read the highlighted stuff, but I don't know, okay? So now we're in powers and duties of the commission. You kind of know about that. To promulgate rules, prescribe administrative fees by rule, and make orders that may deem necessary or expedient. To administer examinations to persons who apply for the issuance of licenses. To sell to other entities or governmental bodies, computer testing and license applications, to recover expended research, to issue license in the form the commission may prescribe, to issue licenses, and to regulate the activities of real estate brokers, provisional sales associates, branch offices, non-residents, all of that. Upon showing good cause as provided for in the Oklahoma Real Estate License Code, to discipline licensees, instructors, and real estate school entities, to reprimand, to have probation for a specified period of time. They have the right to require education in addition to the educational requirements, They have the right of suspending real estate license and approvals for specified periods of time, revoking real estate licensees and approvals, imposing administrative fines. I think they kind of repeat stuff. Any combination of discipline as provided by subparagraphs as through of F of this paragraph. Let's see. Upon showing good cause to modify any sanction imposed. See, they're just repeating stuff, okay? 8. Conduct for cause for disciplinary proceedings. To prescribe penalties as it may deem proper to be assessed against licensees for the failure to pay license renewal fees. To initiate the prosecution of any person who violates any of the provisions of this code. To approve instructors and organizations. Hold on. To approve instructors and organizations offering courses of studies in real estate, to further require them to meet standards, to remain qualified as is necessary, to contract with attorneys and other professionals to carry out the functions and purposes of this code, to create Oklahoma real estate contract for the committee by rule that will be required to draft and revise real estate purchase. Okay. To enter into contracts and agreements for the payment of food and other reasonable expenses as authorized in the State Travel Reimbursement Act necessary to host, conduct, or participate in meetings and training sessions. To conduct annual performance review of the executive director and submit the report to legislature, and to enter into reciprocal agreements with other real estate licensing regulatory jurisdictions. Compliance with the Administrative Procedures Act. In the exercise of all powers and performance of all duties provided in this code, the Commission shall comply with procedures provided in the Administrative Procedures Act. Appeals shall be taken as provided in said act. Okay, license required, exemptions. This is 858-301, license required exemptions. Prevent any person, partnership, trust, association, or corporation, or the partners, officers, or employees of any partnership, trustees, or beneficiaries of any trust, association, or corporation from acquiring real estate for its own use. See, I know, just try your best to understand what's going on here. Okay, so licensing required. Okay, nothing in this section shall apply to persons acting as the attorney in fact for the owner of any real estate, authorizing the final summation by performance of any contract for sale, lease, or exchange of such real estate, in any way prohibit any attorney in fact from performing the duties of the attorney as such, okay? Nor shall this code prohibit a receiver, trustee, and bankruptcy administrator, executor, or his or her attorney from performing his or her duties, or any person from performing any acts under the order of any court, or acting as a trustee under the terms of any trust. Okay, we kind of know that. Okay, so we know about the clock hours, eligibility for licensee applicants convicted of criminal offensive time periods for disqualification. Any applicant convicted of any crimes defined in Section 13.1, Title 21, the Oklahoma statutes, shall not be eligible to obtain a real estate license within 20 years of the completion of any criminal sentence, including parole and probation. Any applicant convicted of a felony crime that substantially relates to the occupation of a real estate agent and poses a reasonable threat to public safety shall not be eligible to obtain a real estate license within 10 years of the completion of any criminal sentence. So we need to check 13.1 and see what those crimes are. According to Angela, she said that as long as you have a misdemeanor, you should be okay. Okay, it's like the felonies that gets that way, and we need to get our misdemeanor expunged. Okay. Okay. So for applicant shall mean a person making an application for original licensure as a provisional sales associate. Okay, so we kind of know this. Eligibility, any person 18 years of age or older who shall submit to the commission evidence of successful completion of 90 clock hours or its equivalent as determined by the commission of basic real estate instruction in a course of study approved by the commission may apply to the commission to take an examination for the purpose of securing a license. Okay, the applicant shall appear in person before the commission for an examination, which shall be in the form and inquire into the subjects of the commission and inquire into the subjects the commission shall prescribe. Okay. Eligibility for a license as a real estate broker examination. Applications for a broker license who holds a sales associate license are not currently licensed shall meet the following requirements. Have 2 years licensure with the previous 5 years or its equivalent. Submit to the commission evidence of successful completion of 90 clock hours or its equivalent as determined by the commission of advanced real estate instruction in a course study. So to get a broker's license, you have to take a 90-hour course in advanced study to get that. Okay. Eligibility for license as a broker associate. Applicants for broker associate license shall meet the following requirements. 1. Hold renewable broker associate or sales associate license and have 2 years licensure within the previous 5 years as a sales associate or provisional sales associate or its equivalent. The previous 5 years as a sales associate or provisional sales associate or its equivalent. Okay. 2. Submit to the commission evidence of a successful completion of 90 clock hours or its equivalent as determined by the commission of advanced real estate instruction. So for broker associate, you also have to take a 90-hour course, okay? And it has to be approved by the commission. The education required in this subsection shall only be valid for a period of 3 years. All of it is like 3 years. From the date the school certified successful completion of the course. Thereafter, the applicant shall be required to successfully complete an additional 90 clock hours or its equivalent in advanced real estate instruction and apply to the commission to take an examination. Okay. Issuance of a license. The Oklahoma Real Estate Commission shall issue every real estate license for a term of 36 months with the exception of a provisional sales associate license whose license term shall be for 12 months. Okay, 858-307, application for reissuance of license. After revocation, a person shall not be permitted to file an application for reissuance of a license after revocation of the license within 3 years of the effective date of revocation. Inactive status for licensees. You know what inactive means? It means the commission may place a licensee on inactive status when the request is accompanied by a sufficient reason. However, such status shall not relieve the licensee from paying the required fees. The request for inactive status shall be in writing on forms furnished by the commission. Okay? Location of the branch office. A real estate broker shall maintain a specific place of business. Such place of business shall comply with all local laws and shall be available to the public during reasonable business hours. Okay. If the real estate broker maintains more than one place of business and the additional location is an extension of the main office, a branch office licensee must be a branch office license must be obtained for each additional location. This sounds like shit. I don't know. Okay. 858.312 investigations cause for suspension or revocation of license. Okay, so the Oklahoma Real Estate Commission, upon complaint being filed by any person, shall investigate the business transactions of any real estate licensee and may, upon showing good cause, impose sanctions. And cause shall be established upon the showing that any licensee has performed, is performing, or has attempted to perform, or is attempting to perform any of the following acts. Okay, making a material false or fraudulent statement in an application for license, making substantial misrepresentations or false promises in the conduct of business or through real estate licensees, or advertising which intended to influence, persuade, or induce others, failing to comply with the requirements of 858.351 through 858.363. I think that's the Oklahoma Brokerage Relationships Act. Failing to accepting a commission or other valuable consideration as a real estate associate for the performance of any acts as an associate except from the real estate broker, representing or attempting to represent a real estate broker, failing within reasonable time to account or remit for any monies, documents, or other property coming into possession of the licensee, which belongs to others. Yeah, can't do that. Paying a commission or valuable consideration to any person for acts or services performed in violation of the Oklahoma Real Estate License Code. Any conduct which constitutes untrustworthy, improper, fraudulent, or dishonest dealings, of course. Disregard or violating any provision of the Oklahoma Real Estate License Code or rules. Guaranteeing or having authorized or permitted any real estate licensee to guarantee future profits which may result from the resale or real estate, advertising or offering for sale, rent, lease, any real estate, or placing a sign on any real estate, offering it for sale, rent, or lease without the consent of the owner. Can't do that. Using prizes, money, gifts, or other valuable consideration as an inducement to secure customers or clients to purchase specific property. However, you may use prizes, money gifts, or other consideration for marketing purposes, provided they are not contingent or limited to individuals making an offer or purchasing a specific property, accepting employment or compensation for appraising real estate contingent upon the reporting of a predetermined value, or issuing any appraisal report on real estate in which the licensee has an interest, unless the licensee's interest is disclosed in the report. Okay, all appraisals shall be in compliance with the Oklahoma real estate appraisal law, and the person performing the appraisal or report shall disclose to the employer whether the person performing the appraisal or report is licensed or certified by the Oklahoma Real Estate Appraiser Board. Paying a commission or any other consideration to any person for performing the services of a real estate licensee who has not first secured a license, can't do that. Unworthiness to act as a real estate licensee, whether of the same or different character as specified in this section, or because the real estate licensee has been convicted of or pleaded guilty to a crime involving moral turpitude. Commingling with the licensee's own money or property, the money or property of others which is received and held by the licensee, unless the money or property of others is received by the licensee and held in an escrow account that contains only money or property of others. Conviction in a court of competent jurisdiction of having violated any provision of the federal fair housing laws. Yeah, you can't do that. Failure by a real estate broker after the receipt of a commission to render an accounting to and pay to a real estate licensee the licensee's earned share of the commission. So that's like failure. The broker is not paying you. That's what that is. Conviction in a court of competent jurisdiction in this or any other state of the crime of forgery, embezzlement, obtaining money under false pretenses, extortion, conspiracy to defraud, fraud, or any similar offense, or offenses, or pleading guilty to any such offense. Advertising to buy, sell, rent, or exchange any real estate without disclosing that the licensee is a licensee. Yeah. Not disclosing your license. Okay? Can't do that. Paying any part of a fee, commission, or other valuable consideration received by a real estate licensee to any person that is not licensed. So giving a commission to someone who isn't licensed, can't do that. Offering, loaning, paying, or making to appear to have been paid a down payment of earnest money deposit for a purchaser or seller in connection with the real estate transaction. Okay. Violation of the Residential Property Condition Disclosure Act, can't do that. Okay, certain persons prohibited from participation in real estate, 858-312. Yeah, so you kind of know that. No person whose license is revoked or suspended shall operate or indirectly or have participating interest or act as a member, partner, or officer in any real estate business, corporation, association, or partnership that is required to be licensed. Yeah, so you can't do anything involving real estate without a license, okay? We know that. No persons whose license is canceled, surrendered, or lapsed, pending an investigation or disciplinary proceedings shall operate directly or indirectly, yada, 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 act as a member, partner, officer in any real estate business, corporation, or association that is required to be licensed pursuant to this code at this time, as the commission makes a determination on the pending investigation or disciplinary code until such time proceedings and approvals and application for licensing. So that means like if you're pending an investigation, if you're under investigation, you can't do anything with real estate until that investigation is done. Okay, now we're at the Broker Relationships Act, okay? This is going to be the hard one because when I read it, I didn't quite understand it, but I'm just going to play it and play it and play it until I think I understand it, okay? So, broker relationships. This is 858-351 through 858-363. See, and it says way back here. Okay, it says way back here. Hold on. Let me get to it. My neck is killing me. There's a lot of repeated shit in here. Like it just keeps repeating stuff. Hold on, I'm looking for it. Okay, so it says right here in 605, 1015, okay, in 605, 10-15-2, Broker Relationships Act to become effective November 1st, 2013, okay? A, Broker Relationships Act, effective November 1st, 2013, a new law, Title 59 OS, Sections 858, 351 through 858, 363 of the License Code becomes effective on November 1st, 2013, which shall be referred to as the Broker Relationships Act. Okay, brokerage service agreement defined. The term brokerage service agreement shall mean an oral or written agreement to provide brokerage services entered into by a real estate broker and shall be a person who is a party to a real estate transaction and shall include, but are not limited to, listing agreements, buyer broker agreements, and property management agreements. Providing services, okay. Okay, providing services to more than one party to a transaction. When a firm provides brokerage services to more than one party to a transaction, the broker shall provide written notice to those parties that the broker is providing brokerage services to more than one party. When a firm provides brokerage services to both sides of the transaction, the firm shall ensure compliance with Title 59 OS Section 858-353, along with all other requirements of the license code and rules. Okay? So I think that's referring to all these laws back here. So we're going to go back to 858-351 through 858-363. We're going to read that because this is the Broker Relationships Act. It's really hard to understand. Just try your best, okay? Unless the context clearly indicates otherwise, as used in Section 858-351 through 858-363, the Oklahoma Real Estate License Code. Okay, the term broker means a real estate broker, an associated broker associate, a sales associate, or a provisional sales associate authorized by a real estate broker to provide brokerage services. 2. Brokerage services means those services provided by a broker to a party in a transaction. 3. Party means a person who is a seller, buyer, landlord, or tenant, or a person who is involved in an option or exchange. 4. Transaction means an activity to process to buy, sell, lease, rent, option, or exchange real estate. Such activities or processes may include, without limitation, soliciting, advertising, showing or viewing real property, presenting offers or counter-offers, entering into agreements and closing such agreements. And 5, firm means a sole proprietor, corporation, association, or partnership. Okay? Now we're on 858-353. Broker duties and responsibilities. A broker shall have the following duties and responsibilities to all parties in a transaction, which are mandatory and may not be abrogated or waived by a broker. 1. Treat all parties with honesty and exercise reasonable skill and care. 2. Unless specifically waived in writing by a party to the transaction, A. Receive all written offers and counter-offers. B. Reduce offers or counter-offers to a written form upon request of any party to a transaction. And C. Present timely all written offers and counter-offers. Okay? Now we're on 3. Timely account for all monies and property received by the broker. 4. Keep confidential information received from a party or prospective party confidential. The confidential information shall not be disclosed by a firm without the consent of the party disclosing the information unless consent to the disclosure is granted in writing by the party or prospective party disclosing the information. Okay? The disclosure is required by law, or the information is made public or becomes public as the result of actions from a source other than the firm. The following information shall be considered confidential and shall be the only information considered confidential in a transaction. Okay? A, that a party or prospective party is willing to pay more or accept less than what is being offered. B, the party or prospective party is willing to agree to financing terms that are different from those offered. C, the motivating factors of the party or prospective party purchasing, selling, leasing, optioning, or exchanging the property. And D, information specifically designated as confidential by a party unless such information is public. See, and there's a note right here that says be aware of 858-353 through -368. So there was a test question on there, something about the law changing and what is it referred to after the law, and I can't find anything in here about that. The only thing I can think of is the law is now referred to as the Broker Relationship Act. And before that, it was considered the Oklahoma License Code. So before it was the Oklahoma Brokerage Relationship Act, it was the Oklahoma Real Estate License Code. And then after November 1st, 2013, it was referred to as the Oklahoma Brokerage Relationship Act. Anyway, now we're on 5. 5. Disclose information pertaining to the property as required by the Residential Property Condition Disclosure Act. And 6. Comply with all requirements of the Oklahoma Real Estate License Code and all applicable statutes and rules. Okay, now we're in, why is there a B here? I don't know. B, a broker shall have the following duties and responsibilities only to a party for whom the broker is providing brokerage services in a transaction, which are mandatory and may not be abrogated or waived by a broker. Number 1, inform the party in writing when an offer is made that the party will be expected to pay certain costs, brokerage service costs, and approximate amount of the costs. And 2, keep the party informed regarding the transaction. Now it's C. When working with both parties to a transaction, the duties and responsibilities set forth in this section shall remain in place for both parties. 858-355. Okay, -1. Brokerage services to both parties in a transaction, -disclosure. A. All brokerage agreements shall incorporate as material terms the duties and responsibilities set forth in section 858-353. C is referring back to 353, which was the duties and responsibilities. Okay. B. A broker may provide brokerage services to one or both parties in a transaction. So a broker can provide to either one party or both parties in a transaction. I think that means that the broker can talk to both the buyer and seller. C. A broker who is providing brokerage services to one or both parties shall describe and disclose in writing the broker's duties and responsibilities set forth in section 858-353 of the Oklahoma License Code prior to the party or parties signing a contract to sell, purchase, lease, option, or exchange real estate. D. A firm that provides brokerage services to both parties in a transaction shall provide written notice to both parties that the firm is providing brokerage services to both of those parties in a transaction prior to the parties signing a contract to purchase or lease or option or exchange real estate. E. If a broker intends to provide fewer brokerage services than those required to complete a transaction, the broker shall provide written disclosure to the party for whom the broker is providing brokerage services. Such disclosure shall include a description of those steps in the transaction for which the broker will not provide brokerage services, and also state that the broker assisting the other party in the transaction is not required to provide assistance with these steps in any manner. Okay? Now it's 858-356, disclosures, confirmation in writing. Okay? The written disclosures are required by subsection C of section 858-355 of this title, shall be confirmed by each party in writing in a separate provision incorporated in or attached to the contract to purchase, lease, option, or exchange real estate. In those cases where a broker is involved in a transaction that does not Ricky, I'm recording. Get her. Come on. Take her out. I'm recording. Go. I can't pause or it'll restart. Go. You're interrupting this. This is for me to study. Get out. The written disclosures as required